Hi friends, Lifeline is one of the original legends in Apex Legends, and here is her complete backstory. Lifeline, real name AJ Shea. She was born in 2709 on Olympus, Samathi. Her parents were head of a successful company called Chevrix Inc. It was founded by Lifeline's ancestors as Al Logic in Angel City many decades before that. Chevrix had evolved into a large business that had strong ties with the IMC, the Syndicate, and other large corporations. In fact, Chevrix was one of the companies that provided funding for Project Iris in the refining of branthium, which was initially discovered by Horizon. So you can see things do all tie together. Ultimately, the success of Chevrix Inc. and Lifeline's parents meant that Lifeline grew up in quite a privileged lifestyle in the more affluent parts of Samathi. Growing up, she had a really good childhood friend called Octavio Silva. You'll know him as Octane. The two of them together attended the same schools and parties during their early lives, and they were the closest of friends. Even when Octane's pet rabbit, Navidad, died, he knocked on Shay's door early one morning for a makeshift funeral, and Lifeline gave a brief, improvised eulogy, because Octane trusted no one else more than Lifeline to do this for his beloved pet rabbit. In 2728, Lifeline and Octane attended a Chevrix gala in celebration of the company's latest drone facility. That night, Lifeline discovered the truth about her parents. They were war profiteers, taking advantage of the constant conflicts in the frontier and the outlands for quick gain. Unlike her parents though, Lifeline actually cared about people, and with this new knowledge, suddenly the way she viewed her parents completely changed. After the event, Lifeline decided to accompany Octane, who was en route to Solace for a gauntlet competition. After arriving on the planet, the two entered the Paradise Lounge for a drink, but they left immediately after being utterly repulsed by the atmosphere. They entered another venue where they stayed and watched live music. Lifeline greatly enjoyed the sound and attitude of the music and eventually met one of the performing artists, a punk rock band known as the Flyer Liars. As Octane left, Lifeline stayed behind with the band, and the band's drummer even encouraged her to begin practicing drumming, as Shay demonstrated natural proficiency. As time went on, Lifeline began to fill in on the drums for the band when the regular drummer was absent. She later accompanied the band on a mini tour to one of the charity events on Samathi run by the Frontier Corps. This was her first encounter with the Frontier Corps, and she realized all the good that they were doing. Remember, Lifeline is a good person, and she really connected with the mission of the Frontier Corps, and this made her realize even more the destruction that her parents were causing with their dealings through Chevrix Inc. Lifeline was inspired, and at that point, she knew what she had to do. She returned home and officially swore off her family, taking some clothes and her medical drone, Doc, before leaving Samathi for good. Of course, Lifeline's parents weren't best pleased, but what could they do? Lifeline would go on to join the Frontier Corps, helping to bring humanitarian work across the frontier. She utilized her medical skills she picked up to help others, and her work was extremely important. For example, on one occasion, she assisted a mercenary veteran who had been injured in the war. One day, Lifeline would realize the Frontier Corps needed help. Their supplies were low and people were suffering. She called on her friend Octane to help. You see, his father's company, Silver Pharmaceuticals, created and supplied all the medical equipment and supplies across the outlands. Lifeline and Octane would proceed to attempt to break into Silver Pharmaceuticals to steal the meds to help the people the Frontier Corps was looking after. However, they ran into some trouble along the way. Luckily, Octane had secured them some cool winged suits that allowed them to glide to safety. When they brought the medical supplies back, they were tracked there by Octane's father Eduardo Silva and Lifeline's mother, plus a bunch of armed mercenaries. You see, they were attempting to take back Octane and Lifeline to the luxury life in Samathi and had their children close by, but as a consequence, they were also going to execute all of the innocent people in the camp. Luckily, Octane and Lifeline came up with a plan, and Octane quickly jumped on his live broadcast to hundreds of thousands of fans. Of course, their parents wouldn't want to get caught on camera executing innocent people, so they left. And when Octane asked Lifeline what she would do next time the Frontier Corps needed supplies, Lifeline realised she couldn't just ask her parents for the money because it would just be morally wrong, but she also couldn't steal the supplies because that would make her just like her parents. At this moment she saw the Apex Games and realised it was her only option to keep the Frontier Corps going. This led to Lifeline eventually joining the Apex Games to raise money for the Frontier Corps. Despite the ethical drama of competing in a blood sport for money, she rationalised it with the fact that she would in fact be helping people with her performances, and she would be able to use her earnings to fund the Frontier Corps. And that's Lifeline's story up to her joining the games. I hope you found this interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest lore and Apex Legends content on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.